This first exercise is called the open strike. We're going to strike the drum and to produce a nice open sound. It's an excellent exercise for developing strength and flexibility in the muscles and tendons in the arms. It's one constant movement, down up, not down up. One constant movement, down up. We're going to strike the drum and get that head resonating and get the stick away from the drum as quickly as possible so that it remains resonating as long as it can. We have to be careful how we execute the stroke. We don't want to keep the stick down because we'll get a dead sound. We want a nice open sound. So we're not going to grip the stick too tightly, not tightly at all in fact. The fingers are closed but they're not gripped. And we don't want a lazy stroke because that's not going to produce the power or the sound or the development that we want. But we don't want an angry, aggressive stroke because that's going to create a lot of tension. We need to find a nice balance where we're using as much power and speed as possible but maintaining relaxation with no tension. So we're going to choose a speed that's 55 beats per minute. Any faster than that is going to make eliminating tension impossible. So 55 beats per minute, and we're going to do it 8 on each hand, 8 beats on each hand. Okay, so maintaining relaxation at all times, and we'll do that for 10 times, so that's 10 lots of 8 on each hand, and that will help to develop strength, flexibility, but remember to stay relaxed. The next exercise is called the single stroke roll, and we're going to begin using the open strike from the previous exercise, but we're going to quickly back off in the amount of power we're using in order that we can maintain relaxation as the speed develops. So it's both hands alternately, one after the other. We're starting at a very slow tempo with the open strikes, and then we're going to gradually increase the speed. But it's a good idea to increase the speed in spurts, then maintain that new tempo rather than practice speeding up gradually. If we do that, we run the risk of practicing speeding up, and it will be difficult to stop, difficult to control the tempo. So we increase the speed in spurts and then maintain that new tempo. And as the speed develops, we're backing off in the power in order to ensure we stay relaxed in the arms. It still sounds quite mechanical at the moment. It's 2 separate strikes. So we increase the speed again, back off on the power, relax. And again. More speed. More speed. Now we've hit a point at this tempo where both sticks are moving together and it sounds less mechanical. It's the start of what is to become the roll, the single stroke roll. So we'll continue building the speed. Staying relaxed. still using the wrists. No fingers. Okay, that is the very early stages, the first part of developing the single stroke roll. The final exercise in this first lesson is called the double stroke roll. We're going to begin using the same strike as the first video, the open strike, but this time we're playing 2 strikes on each hand. So we'll build the speed again gradually in stages, and we'll relax and use less power as the speed increases. So here we go. So increasing the speed in the stage. Using a little less power, maintaining relaxation. Probably still sounds a bit mechanical still at this tempo. Till it begins to sound more like a roll. Okay, that's it. Okay, this video is about getting started and choosing some of the equipment that we need. The most obvious place to start is a pair of sticks. Most leading manufacturers use a similar guide to what they mean, but they're not all the same, so be careful. But generally a 5A is a very good all-round stick. 5B is heavier, so if you want to play heavier rock music, 5B would be a place to start. If you want to play light music, then a 7A is good for jazz. But generally you should pick a pair of sticks that feel comfortable in your hands. So the next thing you would need is something to drum on. Rather than drumming on a table and destroying your family furniture, it'd be wise to choose a pad. There is no substitute for practicing on a drum, but drum can be very loud, both for yourself and for the people that you share your living space with. So this pad here is quite a nice pad. You can get these from most places, obvious places. It's very quiet, so it's very good if you need to keep the noise down. This is my preferred pad. It's louder, but the feel of it is much more like a drum, as close to a drum as we can get without actually having a drum. So it's got quite a nice sound and a nice feel. Again, you can get these type of pads on the internet. That's just made of rubber with wood inside. This one is a frame with a proper drum skin on. So yeah, that's what you need. Also, on top of that, a good chair is a good thing, and a stand. So these pads literally screw onto a normal cymbal stand. Bear in mind that the cymbal stand has a smaller nut than normal. The more common, more expensive cymbal stands have a larger nut, but that just screws on like that, and you can play on the pad. And this one screws on as well, just like that, and so you can play on like that. So we get a nice, comfortable playing position. Okay. So we also want to think about our posture, which is important. If we have a poor posture, we're going to get tired much quicker, much sooner. Now, obviously, if we're serious about drumming, we want to spend a long time practicing, so we need to stay as focused and as relaxed as possible. So a poor posture is going to work against that all the time, and we're going to get tired quicker, and we're going to get more frustrated quicker. So we want to sit up nice and straight, relax shoulders, and the drum pad at the right height, which is roughly so that your arms are straight. And we don't want it so high that we keep hitting the rims unintentionally, and we don't want it so low that we're having to lean forward. Okay? Okay, now we need to learn how to hold the sticks. So I'm going to be using the German grip, which is a form of matched grip. Now the important thing about the grip is the fulcrum, which is where the stick is gripped between the thumb and the finger. So we grip it and then we bring our fingers around loosely, not clenched. Now it's important that we have the fulcrum in the right place, so I would recommend having about 20 to 30 millimeters poking out of your palm, or an inch. If we have the fulcrum too low, the stick is very top heavy and it's difficult to control. If we have it too high, it's opposite, the bottom is too heavy and it's still difficult to control. About here is about the perfect place for the best level of control. So grip it in the right place, loosely bring the fingers around, and then we'll bring the sticks down. Now we want the wrists to be nice and straight, not bent in either direction, so nice and straight. Sticks down, natural position, shoulders relaxed, elbows slightly out, not pulled in or stuck out, and that's it. We're then ready to play.